traveling out to the villages, I have a lot of questions thrown my way. So what I did is I'm going to do a campfire Q&A session here and go over, I picked 7 of the most common questions that are asked of me when I'm traveling. The first one is going to be, what does a biomedical technician actually do? Well, what we do is we go out into the hospitals, the clinics, the doctor's office, and we make sure that that medical equipment that they use on you as a patient is functioning properly. And then that's what we considered a preventative maintenance measure. And that's typically done annual, semi-annual, and whatnot. Depends on the piece of equipment. If we run into issues, then we also try to troubleshoot it, make sure it's functioning properly, and then put it back in service. And sometimes it's just not repairable, so we'll pull it out. They make recommendations as to what they can possibly use in its place, or just a complete replacement like kind. It may have been a little bit long-winded there. My next question is, do I ever get scared flying in small planes? And yes, I do. It's Alaska. That's how we get around up here, is through the small planes. And you know, sometimes we can get to a base location via jet and then fly out from there. But yeah, I mean, it is Alaskan flying, and it can get very windy. The weather is unpredictable. I've been on planes where I've had to hold on to the seat because you'll just drop out and your head will hit the ceiling and it gives you butterflies, or the pilot is concerned about something not right and he will whip that plane around, and you're just kind of like, ah. But yeah, I think the scariest ride that I've ever been on was, I was flying out to a village, and the door that was right next to me had popped open. Now this was the co-pilot seat. I wasn't flying the plane. I was just sitting in the co-pilot seat when this happened, and we thought we were going to have to do an emergency landing, but we did not. I finagled my way and held the door while he did his thing and made sure that the door was secured, and we made it to our destination unscathed. So that was a good thing. Next question. What happens when I get sick while traveling? Well, I actually have been sick while traveling. I got food poisoning one time, surprisingly by hospital food. But you just kind of, and it depends on the situation, but you typically suck it up and deal. And you get through it and you get back out there and you do your job as soon as you get to feeling better. There are instances where, if, you know, depending on what it is, you may or may not have to be medevaced out. I've not had that happen to me, but my company that I work for, because our insurance will not pay for a medevac, they provide, oh my goodness gracious, they provide medevac insurance for us. Now you'll see in some of my videos, I've actually taken my children or my husband with me on some of these plane rides, and I make sure that we are covered as a family also under medevac insurance, just to be on the safe side. Because if something happens and they have to medevac you up here, you can guarantee it is going to cost you 20 grand minimum. So if you're traveling up in Alaska, highly recommend that you get medevac insurance. Okay, here's a weird one. Am I CBET certified? And CBET is CBET. It means Certified Biomedical Equipment Technician, and no, I am not. Now, I have studied and I've taken the test, but I haven't gotten my test results. It just so happened that the last test that they gave was a new version, and it was a hard test. But I won't get the results back until the end of July, and I'll probably just do a separate video on that, whether I pass or I don't pass. Kind of let you know my feelings about that. My next question. what kind of equipment do I typically work on when I'm in the villages? For the most part, the villages are just small clinics that can give basic medical care. It's just a health aide that typically works in these clinics. And the most they're going to do is they're going to have an AED, an aspirator, and then some of your basic equipment like exam tables, stretchers, EKGs, etc. Just very basic equipment. Their job is to make sure that you are safe until a medevac team can come and get you and then take you to the location, or you can get well enough to be or to jump on a plane to get to the nearest hospital. What is my favorite place in Alaska? This is a tough one because Alaska is very diverse. It's a beautiful state. Well, I would say that my most favorite place so far has been Homer. And it's a drive from Anchorage, maybe 4 hours, but it's beautiful. You've got mountains, you've got glaciers, you've got ocean, and I'm a huge fan of ocean. The beaches are walkable, lots of walkable beaches there. And the weather for the most part is really good. So I would say overall Homer region is my most favorite part. Now the most adventurous, my most adventurous travel is out to Akutan because it's a plane ride out to Dutch Harbor, and then hopefully, if weather cooperates, oh my goodness gracious, you can get to it with a helicopter, or you can work with Trident. They have a ship that runs between Dutch and Akutan, and you can get permission. They will put you in a room. You can't leave the room, but I've been in great seas. I know the seas can get very sketchy certain times of the year, and I do get seasickness, but as long as the seas are good, for the most part, I did just fine on that. But that was my most adventurous, and I really enjoy going out there because of that. Okay. Wow. Okay. How much do I make? Well, I'm not going to tell you what I make right now, but what I will tell you is when I first started at this job, it was $36 an hour, and it's not enough. I mean, it's unfortunate, but that it just is what it is. So I, have the thing, Anchorage is very expensive, and the reason we have what we have up here is because my husband and I worked really hard. I was also in the oil and gas industry before this, and that is where the money's at. But like I said in another video with my history, it is feast or famine, and I was looking for more stability, so I wound up going into the medical field. I love what I do. I love the travel that I do, and while the money is not the best, the company overall treats me really well. I get great 401k, I make per diem, and when I'm traveling I get 10-hour days. All of my travel is paid for by the company, and because of that I get to see Alaska. More of Alaska than what my husband has ever seen, and he's been here his whole life. So for me, it's a good fit. So that's the end of this session. That's all I have right now. But if you have any questions in addition to these that you would like to, throw out there, I'll do another session, maybe another campfire session. I like these. These are fun. And answer 7 more of your questions. So I just got a text, and my husband's like, "What did you buy?" Something expensive. But oh my word, is it seriously raining? It followed me. Okay. We're gonna try it this way. So, rain or shine, we're doing this session. Oh my gosh, my hair is gonna frizz.